He attempted to kick dirt onto it to put it out, momentarily forgetting the correctly maneuvered procedures involving magic cannot, or will not, fade into underestimated obscurity by any ordinary means. Upon failing to reverse this spell, Eric well lost his balance and tumbled and slumped clumsily right into the flames. He shrieked and squeezed his eyes shut to prepare for the instant impact. And found himself in a confused state of mind. In a single moment, the air had grown musty and water dripped into his head in a cavernous atmosphere. He opened one eye slowly and touched his head. No blood. No pain. No fire. He heard other drips echo. He couldn't believe himself to be dead nor taken unconscious into a cell. He sat for another moment, perplexed as to where he had been transported to. The satchel was still on his lap. He opened it and frantically opened back to the page he tried. The powder amount he attempted was right beneath a doorscape spell. Eric found this result with a shame due to his minimal sunlight and a fluke that he was inside the mountain at last. How could it not be? That's the only one he was close to. He uttered a dry chuckle from his chance and pushed onto the leather-bound book to stand his posture upright, on his own feet once more. He put the book back in the satchel and explored. The interior wasn't necessarily set up for guests, yet one exploring has to feel as at home as personally imaginable. He heard the whispers he thought he might, distinguishably now easier, thanks to a roomy echo. As carefully as ever, since the interspersing voices came from numerous corners, he thought it wise to enchant a cobblestone spiral staircase and hopped up like a jackrabbit. The spirits came out of hiding and confessed the infamous curse Eric had heard about was actually their own burden. Sir Neville had swindled all of them by this trick and that trade. To wander between eternities while their sulking hang unwillingly abandoned flesh capsules withered and festered. It was their effort to bring Eric here, for they remained lost, tormented souls, unless he could do anything. Yet he spared me to have at least one person to trick on and on to unleash the trouble of the rest. So what about the tombstones? None of them were dug up. We should have been buried there with the utmost ceremonious honor. A sprawling branched tree is no place for us without warrant for revenge. Another spirit cried with sorrowfully undignified woe. Would that not have disturbed the others already resting within? No offense, but either way, I am left with a bunch of souls to console, if you will. The spirits grew bright, sickly green and wailed in unison. Decoy graves, all of them! A lady spirit crooned. It reverberated like the water dripping, even though up here, Eric's own voice again didn't carry. He opened his satchel and showed them the books, and they regained as much composure as any spirit could obtain, one by one. I have new power. I can build you your very own new sanctuaries, as you can design for me. Eric enchanted himself with a scrapbook with which to record. And for the time being, I myself can lure a new host. The spirits murmured back and forth and announced this was a rather clever proposition. Eric enchanted plenty of jars from more spellbound powder, built a bookshelf, emerged a cauldron, and got to work. Over time, countless spiders weaved webs that decorated Wickerstone's loft by fluke, too. Other such indigenous arachnids, ticks, and most definitely scorpions, he kept handy and fed for the chance he'd need particular venom for a particular concoction. One bone short of a skeleton had Eric to pick with Sir Neville Almoran for the emotional layers of bitterness of his advice to seek out a spacious area Eric begrudgingly betook for an unjustified swindle. Instead, rather, Eric later thought of this as an advantage of wager with the spirits. He'd use his potions and spells and other magic means to meet their needs based on their worlds individually underneath his loft, and in return they keep his magic stamina with the tools abundant. In the single belief that Sir Neville would eventually track him down and Eric would have his day of vengeance. Or if anyone else discovered his new home, he would welcome them on a pretense lure, purely to interrogate information about the man, and otherwise Eric would one day stop waiting to confront. He had a hunch Sir Neville would know better than to hike himself through every world chock full of discreet traps.